not saying that the pill is bad. I just want you to think about how to make health decisions for yourself. You want to be especially vigilant, especially staying on top of it. Once I got the information I needed, I started to move in that direction about how to make health decisions for yourself.
In your mind, what would you say to brothers that's not vaccinated or just people in general?
I'm glad to hear you are protected, and thanks for being so honest here on Keeping It 100, because that's what we do. Hey. Welcome to Keeping It 100, where we have these open and honest conversations to make sure you have the information you need to make good health decisions. I'm your host, Dr. Kristin Motley, and as always, we have a really, really good show in store for you and a very special honored guest. Georgie, the street practitioner, is back in the building, everybody.
Hey, I'm back. How you doing, Doc?
Hey, G, we missed you over here.
Oh, I know. Tough job.
I know you juggling hats. Listen, we talking about
tough day job.
Life.
The day job is tough. I got 14 days, Doc, and we smooth sailing. So
the countdown is on. Yes. Summer break. Let's do it.
Yes.
All right. I just want to check in really quick with you. I know you had an appointment at Chest Pen a few weeks ago. How'd it go?
It went well. My blood pressure was still a little high. And they actually put me on nifedipine.
Okay. You better know what medication you on. That's what
the low doses, I think it was like 30 milligrams. And I go back in 2 weeks, and just told me to start watching my diet a little more. And, just stuff I just start to be aware of. And so I actually been using that as my motivation to start talking to brothers when I've been out here and talking to people doing my street practitioner thing. So, so I went, Doc. So I need that bonus.
I ain't know what you was going to say. I said, I'm going to get him real good. I ain't even going to ask him till he get up on this screen.
You did it. And I was like, wow, Doc ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing. But it went well, though. It went well. I mean, I'm happy I went, though. So I'm still doing my colonoscopy. They're setting that up next when I go back in 2 weeks. And, so we on that road, Doc. We on that road.
I'm really proud of you. It's been a while, about a year.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here. But we are here, and that is what matters. And I am incredibly proud of you because, unfortunately, a lot of our people, especially Black men, they are not keeping up with their health, and they don't find out that something is wrong until it's too late, until they're in the ER or it's critical or it's stage 4, and it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have health insurance, and you didn't have a doctor, but now you have a doctor, and you still don't have health insurance, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing that there are health clinics like Chest Pen that are available to the community to provide the care that people need when they don't have all the things. So, shout out to Georgia, the street practitioner.
And one other thing to add is that even if you are working, they will work with you. You might have to pay like a minimum copay or something, but nothing like you would have to pay if you went to the regular doctor. So by me having a job, I still had to I think I had to drop like a couple bucks, like $25 or something like that. But, it's still worth it, and it's still way less than not having no coverage at all and not knowing what's going on with your health. So, and like I said, I've been using that as motivation to talk to brothers and even women that don't have medical coverage to go there. It's a beautiful facility. They're very friendly. They enjoy me, of course. So I made it kind of colorful, but but I had it felt good, doing something for myself, especially going in the direction of my health. So. Appreciate it, Doc, for the push. It took a year though. I had to give you the black man back. It's all right though, but it's okay.
We made a good job, G. I'm really, really proud of it. And I know it's hard to schedule stuff like that in because you're busy, you have a lot going on, and a lot of us do. And so I'm really, really excited for today's conversation with Miss LaVante Dorsey. Just bring her in the show. Hey, LaVante.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello. She's a mental health therapist and owner of LaVante and Dorsey Associates. Oh, LaVante and Dorsey and Associates LLC. That's her practice located in Delaware. And she also wants y'all to know she is accepting new clients, youth, adults. So if you want to get your life together, LaVante, she got you. So
Let's
when I
go.
asked you, what topic did you want to talk about today? You immediately said the multiple lives that women live. And we're going to throw the men in here too, because we all just doing the most and a lot. And so I just wanted to start off by asking, why is that topic important to you?
Well, one, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me. Again, LaVante and Dorsey and Associates. We're located in Newark, Delaware, and we see clients virtually. We see the youth, the children, the youth and the adults, and we're trickling in some couples as well. So
nice.
Come on, share with your family. But definitely, we mostly see women, and African American women are our biggest population. But also, me just being a woman and figuring out what I'm supposed to do next, how I'm supposed to do this and that. So, of course, that's what I want to talk about.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I recently found out you were a mom because we were trying to schedule this, and you said the baby. I'm like, the babysitter? What babysitter are you talking about? So you have a whole baby. You just snuck a baby in on me, but that is awesome. It's so cute. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
For being a mom and a wife and a business owner and just doing all the things that you're doing. I know that comes with a lot of stress. I get it. How do you encourage your clients, or how do you recommend that they manage the demands of wifehood and motherhood and blah, blah, blah?
Well, first, I always look at myself and see how I'm managing it all. So, as people know, and some people are finding out, I do have a baby. His name is Noah. He will be 1 on June.
That was Noah.
Noah.
Oh, yes.
Name. Oh
my gosh. Wow.
And so being pregnant was amazing. And you realize I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to go with it. And a lot of people don't really talk about the postpartum depression that kicks in, and that did. And I really noticed it when he was about 2-3 months. I was like, whoa, I'm just really not myself. I gave myself the normal adjustment period, but then after that, I was like, this isn't what it's for. I'm anxious. I'm nervous to do things. So one important thing is to check in with people, your community, your good friends. So I was able to reach out to friends who have had babies. I myself go to therapy. Me and Carol, we talk often and have good conversations, but making sure that you're really checking in and tuning into what you want to do. And I think the change came when my friend said she wanted to go away for her birthday. So we went to Key West. He was 3 months old. I left him with his daddy. We went to Key West and we was out dancing, having a good time. And I said, oh, this is LaVante. This is what I need to get back to. And I'm still finding my way because it's still a major adjustment.
That's awesome. So it kind of sounds like you pulled on your support system and you tapped into the skills that you have. You sought therapy, you connected with your close friends, and just tried to do what you could do to kind of get through that tough period that you were having.
Yeah, and what I find is a lot of times we're afraid to say, I need help. I am not doing okay. I don't know if the ego gets in the way, or I know at times we feel like, well, they have a lot of stuff going on. They're not going to be able to support me. But that really isn't the case, because the people that love us want to be there for us. And sometimes it's important for people to just pay attention. Like, they may not be saying it, but I'm sure they need help, because motherhood and being a woman, being a man, heck, it can be a lot in this society today.
It's the asking for help. It's hard because I think that we're supposed to be these strong Black women, supposed to be the strongness, and then we take that on, like we take on that persona when we don't have to.
Yeah, I always encourage people, take that cape off. I know there's certain arenas where it needs to show up, but in your most vulnerable moments in your day-to-day life, when you're really struggling, no, help me. I need help. Just be able to say it.
Wow.
I thought G was going to say something because he looked really.
I was just in the moment because I was just wondering, like, how much of an important piece does your mate play? Like, I know you said your support group, but for the couples, you know, that's out here, and you know, either brothers and sisters in that same situation, like what, you know, what could they do to assist, you know, just on a regular basis?
Yeah, so I think in all relationships, the communication and the way we communicate to one another is the key. A lot of times we're so focused on self versus the team and tuning into what your partner needs. Definitely in my roughest moments, when I just needed to cry, he let me cry. When I said I just need to go and take a warm shower and cry in there, he let me do it. And when my anxiety was at the height, this might be a little too much, G, but I'm gonna keep it real with the women out here.
Keeping it 100, that's what we do.
You're expected to breastfeed, and unfortunately, I didn't produce enough milk to feed my hungry baby. So that was weighing down on me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not even the woman in a way that I'm supposed to be at this time when I'm having this baby. And he said, give him formula. Like, it's not, he really helped me come back to the reality of it and supported me in those tough moments.
Wow. Nice.
I really appreciate you for being so honest with that, because I felt the same thing. Like when Bria was born and at day 3, my milk still had not come in. And all I wanted to do was to breastfeed my child for at least a year. I had my mind set. I am breastfeeding for a year. And my milk didn't come in on day 3. And I was devastated. I was devastated. But then a few hours later, it did come in. So I was like, thank you, Lord. But I really felt like I am not a woman enough to feed my child. Like I was hurting. I was hurting.
I had purchased a whole deep freezer because I was like, whoa, I see these noodles. That deep freezer didn't touch the milk. But just being able to realize, okay, the vision that I had isn't lining up that way, but that doesn't mean that this still won't be a beautiful experience. That doesn't mean that I can't adjust and still enjoy motherhood in this time in my life. So yeah, that's the key in it.
I think is really important. Is, you know, although we may want things to go a certain way and have all these plans set, it may not, and you pivot. You can't stay stuck on it. You have to pivot.
That's for everything, not even for just mothers, just women, just men, everyone. We have these goals we set. And at times, if it isn't the fear of failing that gets in the way, it's this didn't work out the way I thought it would. But that's where to me, that's where the fun comes. Like, okay, I still got to work hard and figure this out. And that's the joy in it.
That's true. That's true. I kind of want to go back to the asking for help because you brought that up. And I know that having a therapist in the Black community has been a stigma for years. I think we're talking about it more and we're coming out of it, but we still have a way to go because we're so behind. So how do you address that? You know, being a therapist, I imagine when people contact you, they're already there. But what do you say to people who have not contacted a therapist? I feel like everybody needs a therapist and God. Like if you got those two things, you set.
Yeah, I had the t-shirt. I have a therapist. I have a t-shirt that says I got God and my therapist because
that's all you need.
It's a whole holistic approach. It's definitely still a major stigma in our community that we're definitely trying to decrease. We're seeing the celebrities increase in saying like, I needed help. I spoke with someone. And it's really that conversation of what happens in this house stays in this house. And it kind of carries on throughout our entire lives where I don't want to tell anybody my business. It's the same as talking to a friend. So why would I do that? and I encourage people, it's not the same. We went to school, we got certain training to work on certain interventions, to notice the symptoms that you're experiencing and to really do the work. So it's not the same as talking to a friend. I understand it can be scary because it's like, oh, I'm dumping all this on this person. Are they going to understand me? We always, as an agency, encourage, give it 3 to 4 sessions. It's almost like dating. If you're not feeling the vibe, let it go and find another therapist. But I think if we could get past that stigma and realize that it's not, there's no shame in talking to someone, and that we don't have to be perfect in this world, and that sometimes we just need someone else to bounce things off of, to help us dig into those deep-rooted issues, the generational issues, then I think we would be much better.
Wow. I also wanted to say, also with therapy, it's not always negative. I mean, you always don't have to just get negative things off. It's not always about anxiety.
Yeah.
It might just be good to have somebody just to talk to, like in therapy, that might give you other ideas, examples, ways that broaden your horizons. It's just always not just about when we're in deep depression or when we're going through something. So.
True. That's where it's just a little bit tricky, though, because if you're billing through your insurance, they're going to need a clinical diagnosis. And most of the time it's, I'm stressed out. It's affecting this. And it doesn't have to be, I'm depressed, I'm not getting out of bed. And that could be as well. But it doesn't have to always be, like you said, G, those heavy things. But just the tweaks that you need to really get to those goals that you want to in day-to-day life.
Right.
G, I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because Bilal and I was going to therapy. We started going to therapy about 6 or 7 years ago, and we were having issues at that time. And so we went. And, I feel like it may have taken a year or two where we, started to come out of that, and we were doing much better. And what we did was we kept going to therapy. So we've been at a great place for many years, but we still go for our check-ins quarterly because we want to keep things good. And it kind of forces you to communicate, because there are just questions that the therapist will ask that just don't come out at home. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you was thinking that.
Yeah.
So it's just a great way to keep things going good. And so you're right. It doesn't always have to be bad. And this isn't going through our insurance.
Answer the phone.
Because it's not going through insurance, and we don't have to worry about that part. But it is nice to just go because we're not having an issue right now. We're trying to stay there. And so that's why we keep going.
Right.
Hold on, guys. I forgot to plug up my laptop.
That's all right. It's all right.
But no, I definitely think what you said is important, especially for couples, and really tuning in with a therapist that is trained in couples therapy and really knows what they're doing to help couples, because it's definitely still about the connection, the attachment you had, and being able to speak on just where you are. Because when you think about it, many couples, you grow throughout, and you don't want to necessarily grow apart, but to learn, and even though you become different people, still find ways to connect within your relationship.
Right.
And I think while we're talking about relationships, I kind of want to talk about self-care a little bit. So it's important for both parties in a relationship to take care of themselves. So what do you recommend for men and then for women to do to practice self-care?
Oh, no. So I love this. So what I do with my clients, typically, because it's hard for people to think of, a lot of times they think, well, I got to spend all this money to go do this. But it's really in the little things. For myself, if I'm sitting doing work, I'll turn on my gospel music or my Beyonce and
or my trap music.
And have a good time. Or especially during the pandemic, when we had to isolate and be by ourselves, I would go to the riverfront, and those were the best walks I have had in my life. So when I'm in session, we pull up, and you can Google it, a list of 100 coping skills. And we would go through the list together. And it's not if like yeah, I know I can do this. Is it something you can try to implement into your day-to-day, week-to-week life? So we write them down, we put them on a piece of paper, and I tell them to put it in a little sandwich bag. That way you can keep it in your car or next to your bed. Because a lot of times when we're stressed, we don't have that thought to go right to something that brings us joy and something that brings us peace. But if you can just reach in that bag and try something, that's a step closer to having that kind of buildup of this is how I make myself feel good. So for me, walking, listening to music. It was one day I was like, I just need a real good church service. So I went to church, or I like, before I tore my ACL, I like to go shoot some hoops and play basketball. It all depends on what brings you peace and joy.
I like that. So to have like have a baggie of different things you can just pull out and say, hey, like I'm gonna take a walk, or I'm gonna do some meditation, or listen to some music, or call somebody, or I love that little toolkit idea. That's a great idea.
One day I'll brand it. I just
it's such a great idea. That's really, really good. So just kind of going back to having a balance, you know, what are some strategies you tell your clients or recommend that people can do to balance it all? Because life, like, I don't understand what we are doing in this time, but I feel like our parents was not just this busy. Yeah, they were busy, but like, I feel like we took it to a whole new level of busyness. I don't know what happened, but how do you recommend that people balance it?
That is tough. So right now you can't see her, but I have a master's level intern. She's a student at the Delaware State University, and she has a shirt. Let me see your shirt again. It says mothers, daughters, leaders, queens, women. So all the roles that you can
really wearing it. She is wearing it.
It's a cute shirt too. But all the roles that can really pull you. So even when I think about my mom, who you asked about earlier, she is the vice president, one of the vice presidents at WSFS. She is on numerous boards that I can't even keep up with.
I know.
Volunteers for Junior League of Wilmington, Fund for Development. She is at church. She's the head of one of the big committees. I can't even remember right now.
The women's committee.
Listen, it's so many hats that she wears. Now, this woman, I watched her all my life. She just handles it with grace. Like, I feel like everybody in Delaware knows her at this point. But I think it's because she has her schedule. She uses her calendar. She has the ability to say no when she can't do something. And a lot of us have trouble with that. And then she takes time to herself, like watching her grandson this weekend for her daughter.
Nice. Oh, wow.
So you can get some balance.
Definitely. I think I really want to touch on that power of saying no. Because people will try to pull you in directions. People will cross your boundaries. And it's about having those solid boundaries to say, I can't do that right now. That's too much for me. I can't lend you this money. That's going to hurt. Whatever it is to keep yourself at peace and have the proper boundaries.
Mm-hmm. I like that power of saying them, because my husband always reminds me, he's like, no is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. He don't want me saying it to him, but he's talking about when I'm talking to everybody else. Like, no is a complete sentence. Why are you doing something else? So I started doing that. I would say for the last 4 or 5 years, I use no a lot. And I'm okay with, like, I don't feel bad because there's only 24 hours in the day. You just can't do it all.
Yeah.
I gotta learn that too myself though, Doc. And LaVante. I got the power of the word. I mean, because you, especially when you like working in the community and doing all these things for people, and just, you know, even with what me and Doc, what we doing with the business, or, you know, with the nonprofit, everything is community based. So, you know, we always giving more extra time, and that side piece of time for yourself is major. Yeah. That's what I'm like really starting to work on, and just find inner peace. Like, so the idea, I mean, for women it might be a little different, I'm not sure. But, you know, for me, I have a fish tank now, so that's like something. I'm in the gardening. It's just certain things that I would like to do by myself
Yeah.
But I know that's just personal. It has nothing to do with my wife, but it's just me.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel good. So even shopping for my fish tank, just little stuff. You know, I always heard Doc when the fish died. So
His fish are spoiled. That's some spoiled fish.
yeah. I'm gonna show a picture next. I'm gonna show a picture next week.
And you said nothing to do with my wife, but I got what you were saying there, because we still have to take care of ourselves and be an individual within the relationship,
Right.
But then also tune back in. So you have your alone time. She has her thing.
Right. I mean, she has her little stuff. I mean, she coupon. I mean, she has her lane.
Oh, she be couponing?
Oh yeah. What? Oh man.
Oh, let me go get some toilet paper. Can I get some toilet paper and some paper towels and 12-pack of Dove unscented soap? I need. I'm gonna send you a whole list.
Okay. We might have to bring her on the show, but yeah, that's pretty much her out. You know, so you know, especially as you start to get older. I mean, when you're younger, you know, you're more vibrant. You know, you're more accessible. But as you get older, you start to be more private with your time. You know, more mindful of your peace, who's controlling it. Even being a parent as you get older, you're becoming a different style parent. Yeah. But you have to have time for yourself. That's one of the most important things I heard you say today. And I'm gonna keep that, and I'm gonna look you up. So
hey.
I'm gonna Google you. Well, thank you so much for coming today, LaVante. I wanted to give you another opportunity to share people that may be looking for a therapist or know somebody that's looking. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so it's best to reach us at our website, www.LaVanteDorsey.com. And even if you find that none of our therapists are a good fit, I know plenty of therapists in the area, and I can refer based on your needs. So again, that's www.LaVanteDorsey.com or LaVante Dorsey on Instagram and Facebook.
I'm gonna try to do something right quick. Oh wait.
Good job, Doc. Good job.
My little pop up there. So yes, please reach out to LaVante if you are looking for someone for a counselor, or if you know someone, reach out to LaVante and Associates, because they're the bomb. Well, thank you so much again. Oh, did you want to say something else?
There's also a lot of confusion regarding insurance. So typically, especially if you have Medicaid, therapy is 100% free. You don't have to pay anything. And then typically there's either a deductible or a low copay, depending on your insurance plan. And you can just call your insurance and check it out. But we take all the insurances in Delaware minus Medicare. So yes.
Awesome. Oh, you set up. I'm about to send you all kind of referrals.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a good rest of your day.
You guys too.
Thank you, LaVante. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
All right, G, that was good. LaVante, she's good. She got all the insurances. So that's important, because a lot of people can't afford to see a therapist, and a lot of them don't accept insurance. So it's hard to find a good therapist that accepts insurance. So if you're in Delaware, definitely look up LaVante. I've known her for about 5 or 6 years now. She's just as great as you just saw her, is who I know her to be. And she comes from good people. Her mom is the bomb, like she had mentioned. But let's get caught up on some news stuff. I wanted to give a shout out to Rabia. We went to the Single Mothers Are Really Trying health fair at the Islamic Center. Was that last weekend or the weekend before? I don't know. I can't even keep track. But it was nice. It was a really nice event.
Yeah, I believe it was great. I had a great time. We had a great time. We was in a Muslim community. Felt good to be in that area, in that aura with good folks.
Yeah.
And
it was good.
You know, what we do, we serve the entire community, all religions. It's really, health is for everyone. So
it's absolutely for everybody.
Yeah. So
we all need
I had a great time. Yeah.
Yes, LaVanteDorsey.com if y'all need her, holler at her. One thing that I wanted to mention, a lot of people came to us to get their blood pressure taken. Usually people won't let me do it. Like they run it, like I gotta twist their arm to get them to sit down, and then their blood pressure high because I didn't stress them all out.
Mm-hmm.
But they were coming over to get their blood pressure taken, and that meant the world to me because you got to know your numbers. You don't want to find out that you have high blood pressure when you in the ER because you had a heart attack or a stroke. And so having the opportunity to check blood pressures really was great. And I'm glad that I would say 99% of the people were excited to get their blood pressure done.
Yeah, I would say 99. Yeah.
99. It was a couple of them. Yeah. One of them I'm looking at that was like putting it off.
Right, where they at, right?
But you finally did it, and now you got what you need, and so you're good to go.
Right. Plus, it's good to know things. Like we as our people, we don't want to know, the worst case scenario, but the worst case scenario is going to happen if we don't find out. So
exactly.
I mean, come on, man. We got to catch up. But good job, Doc. Was proud of you out there. I like to see you in your element.
Oh gosh.
You don't take no for an answer when we're in the field. Like, can't nobody get past you, Doc. So
not when we got work to do.
Right.
As long as we stay at the top of the charts for the people that's dying the most from heart attacks and strokes and COVID and everything else. Nope. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I understand, but I don't want to hear it. So let's go.
Right.
Speaking of COVID, I got a call yesterday from a guy who had not been vaccinated, and he was calling to find out how he can get vaccinated. I was like, come through with your first dose. So good job, and shout out to LaVante for that. He one reason that he gave, because I'm always interested in knowing, like, why did you decide to wait? And he just said he didn't trust the government. And so I was like, I got you. I mean, I was there, so I totally get it. But now he's ready. Oh, he also said he didn't want to turn into a zombie either.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was a lot of misinformation going around. You didn't know who to believe, who to trust. Like one side was saying this and the other side was saying that. It was just a lot. It was a lot of confusion. It was a mess. And so after I talked to him, he felt more comfortable. And so he should be getting his vaccine. I told him that we had some clinics coming up, but don't wait for that. Like, go to get it now. So I said, go over to Springfield Pharmacy across from Springfield Mall. My girl Chi will hook you up. So hopefully that's where he'll go and he'll take care of it. But want to let people know it's not too late. If you haven't gotten it, you can still get started. You can still get started. So it's still out there. I was reading an article recently, and it was saying that young people are losing their hearing at like a higher rate than ever. Do you have any idea why? Young people are losing their hearing.
I would say the earbuds.
Yeah.
And cell phones. It's all the stuff that we keep using our hearing for, whatever nowadays. So
it's the earbuds. They have the volume too high.
Wow.
They're keeping up the volume too high, and that is causing hearing loss. So you want to make sure that your kids don't have their headphones on too loud, because it causes hearing loss. And so I deal with that a lot with Bria, where I'm in the house and I'm calling her and I'm like, Brie, and then I'm yelling Brie and she don't hear me. I'm like, yo, why don't you hear me? And then she take the thing out here. I'm like, you need to just have on one. Turn it down and keep in one. Because when I call you one time, I need you to hear me. So I think we got to remind our kids to keep the volume down and to keep their ears safe, because hearing aids cost over $1,000. And if they need hearing aids at like teenage years, that's going to be a whole nother issue. So let's not load the pockets up of the hearing aid companies. Let's help our kids keep the volume down so that they don't need hearing aids before they turn 65.
Right. Wow.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was a thing. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, I hear that Jamie Foxx is out of the hospital. So I guess it's been I think we first heard about this like a month ago almost. And so I'm really, really glad to hear that he's out of the hospital. People are like upset that he hasn't said anything to his fans. How you feel about that?
I just feel like it was personal. I mean, we don't really know Jamie Foxx. I mean, so
we don't know him like
we just
that.
know him from we know him from TV. That might not even be his real name.
I don't know. That's not his real name.
Right. I'm just saying. So I'm just saying, you know, so I kind of understand the privacy part of it. You know, I mean, he probably got fans that really care, but you know, they still people too. So the people that really is close to him, his folks, his bloodline, and his close friends are probably the ones that he's like circling himself around this point. And as it gets better, we'll find out. But as of right now, he just letting us know it's none of our business.
Ain't none of your business. Mind your business. And when I say something, I'm gonna say something.
Pretty much. So just keep watching my shows, and if y'all want to see me watch some of my old stuff, and I'll be back.
That's good. Well, our hearts and our prayers, our thoughts are definitely with Jamie Foxx. We definitely can't wait for him to come back, and hope that he just has a good recovery. And as long as it takes, it takes. You know, as long as it takes, it takes. But just really have a good recovery. All right, so we're gonna be in those streets soon. We have a couple events coming up. We're gonna be at Trinity Transitional House Community Baby Shower on Sunday, June 11th. Trina Smith, that's her organization. Shout out to Trina, is putting on a really big, really nice community baby shower. So if you know anyone who is pregnant, who recently had a baby, now Noah is 3. I don't know if I can go get some diapers and some wipes.
I'm try it. Okay.
Had a baby. Come through.
Right.
Definitely come through. We'll be out there giving out information and doing blood pressure screening. So come and get your blood pressure done. Shout out to Local 413, Mark, and the crew. They are doing brother to brother men's health event. They're doing a panel discussion, doing some health screenings. A lot of healthcare providers, all male, will be there. So I've been telling the men in my life, make sure you're there. So I told my dad, I told Bilal, I know you're going to be in the building.
I'll be in the building. So
make sure y'all.
I'm going to bring a lot of brothers with me and get where this been at Doc? Where's this?
It's going to be right at the Union Hall.
Oh, nice.
291.
Copy.
Yeah. So make sure y'all come out to that. That's going to be a nice event. And they're going to have food too. So I know that's always helpful. But yeah, so that's what we have coming up. That's all we got. Hey. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And I want to give a shout out to people that have been watching the replay. I don't be thinking nobody be watching. And then I talk to somebody and I'm like, oh, last week's show was good. And I was like, oh, you saw it? And he was like, of course. I was like, oh, thanks for watching. So shout out to everybody that be watching the replay. We see y'all. We appreciate y'all. And keep watching.
Hey, let's go. All right, great show, Doc.
Thanks. We will see y'all next Wednesday, 12:15, right here on cmpradio.net and Health Educated. We getting the work done. Have a good day, everybody.
All right, see you, Ty.
I'm glad to hear you are protected, and thanks for being so honest.